how are you? I hope you all must be fit and fine. So, today we are going to do a very interesting chapter, namely living and non living things. So, you all must have studied it somewhere or else that what are living things and what are non living things, and we are well known of everything, right? Well, let's do a bit briefly deep inside this topic, living things and non-living things, and understand it a bit deeply. So, shall we start now? See, living things have some characteristics which they just make themselves a bit different from non-living things. Such characteristics like growth, movement, respiration, and like excretion, reproduction, fixed lifespan, and response to stimuli. All of these characteristics are uh, just a thing to prove that it's a living thing or a non-living thing. If it everything happens in a plant or in thing or in anything, if these characteristics are possible, then it is a living thing. If not, then it is a non-living things. Now here you can see some examples of living things over here. Now you know what are these living things. Some of them are living things, like here you can see some are living things and some are non-living things. How do we differentiate them? Like butterfly and crow, mango tree, lion, all of them are living things, but rest of them are non-living things. How do we have differentiated them? Because we know their characteristics, don't we? See, the butterfly's characteristics shall be they move and they grow. Right, like butterflies move, actually they fly and they grow. Like first they are a caterpillar and then they become a butterfly. Similarly to a mango tree, they grow from a seed to a big mango tree. And the second, they respond to stimuli. Like if you shake or shook a mango tree, then it will fall some of its fruits, and hence its characteristics will be grow and reproduce everything, and hence mango tree would be also living organisms because it has some characteristics which are only present in living things. Well, shall we move on? We see many things around us such as birds, squirrel, kites, clouds, plants and vehicles. They are either living thing or non-living thing, right? Such as birds and squirrels are animals, as we all know. Kites and stones are not animals, they are just an object. Clouds, plants and vehicles, they are also an object. Plant is an object but still a living thing. They all are either living or non-living, as we all know. The things that have life, plants, animals, are living organisms, living things or living organisms. We can say them as organisms because they are living. The thing is that they do not have life and that they are not living, and hence they are said non-living organisms, and are natural or human made, like stones, water, chair, table, sun, moon, cloth, furniture, paper, anything you name which is not an organism is basically a non-living thing. Both living things and non-living things are made up of matter, and we have studied matter and we know what is matter. Everything around us, absolutely everything around us is matter. Now, hence everything is matter around us. living thing and non-living thing. Both have matter. Thus, they have mass and they have shape. Not shape of like things like gas and liquid, but they occupy space. Every matter occupies space, and all living things have several common characteristics that distinguish them from their non-living things. As we all know that the characters of living things are different from the non-living things, let's see the characters of living things. First thing first, living things are made up of cells. Just like how a house is made from bricks over here, you can see little small bricks made a totally house. Hence, an organism is made up with cells. Different kinds of cells and enormous amounts of cells make an organism, as you can see over here. Just like house is made of smaller units called bricks, a living thing is also made up of small units called cells. A cell is the basic structure and functional unit of life. Cells vary in size, shape based on their functions. The cells have different functions and they vary in size and shape depending on their functions. Now, a living thing may consist of one cell or many cells. Hence, they are called a living thing. A living thing made up of one cell is known as unicellular organisms, as you can see over here. An example of unicellular organisms is amoeba, and the single-celled amoeba can carry out all the life processes on its own. Like our human body, it does reproduction, generation, excretion, absolutely everything, right? And hence the amoeba also does everything by its own, but with a single cell. How? Because its single cell carries all the functions all alone. Here you can see a bacteria, and bacteria is a unicellular organism. Hence you can see it's how rod shaped it is, and this bacteria can carry all the functions which us humans can. Interesting, right? Well, a living thing can be made up of one cell or multiple cells. So as we have learned what is single cell organism called, it's called unicellular, and just looked at some few examples of it as well, like amoeba and bacteria. Let's see what are multiple cells organism known. They are known as multicellular organisms, and they are ants, squirrels, birds, dogs, cows, cats, plants, humans, etc. They are examples of multicellular organisms. And a multicellular organism has various types of cells to carry the different various functions that they carry out in the body of an organism. So, like we have muscle cells for our muscle movement, blood cells to transport oxygen, and nerve cells to carry brain signals and messages and so on. And multicellular organisms hence are very large in size because they have so many cells, unlike the unicellular organisms. Now, here you can see a cell to an organism. How a cell makes an organism. So first, if you will see here, this is a cell over here. This is a tissue. A single cell makes a whole tissue. Here you can see small particles of cell, and a whole tissue made. Our tissue is not very big, and this tissue makes a whole organ. This organ, comprised of so many organs, makes a organ system, and so many organ systems comprised in an organism. Here it is, from a cell to an organism. In middle we come through so many parts like tissue and organ system, and finally an organism. Very interesting, right? I'm enjoying it. Well, here let's learn about what are tissues, organs and organ systems. A tissue is a group of cells that carry out the same function. A group of cells are basically a common, similar, alike group of cells which form a tissue and carry out the same function. Now about an organ. Many kinds of tissues work together to form an organ, such as the stomach and the lungs. Like many types of same cells form a tissue, just like that many tissues form an organ, and hence many organs form an organ system. Now living things. As we all know, living things grow, they develop, and here are some activities. We have to work in pairs and collect our pictures when we are young and compare it to your current self. If you want to, you can do it. Well, this activity is a bit fun. So if you want it, you can do it. It's amazing. You will get to know how you will change from your young to your old to your current self now. Want to try it? Well, it's amazing. Now here's another activity. Place some moist cotton on a plate and place a mustard seed or pea seed on them. Keep the plate in warm, well-lit place and sprinkle water regularly. Record your observations over a period of 2 weeks and record it and see what happens after that. Well, the seeds will grow slowly and they will just germinate and form a baby plant. From the given two activities, we can understand that all the organisms grow with time. Growth is a result in the increase of cell and the size of number during the life history of an organism. In Let's Do It Too, you observe that tiny seeds grow into tiny plants within few weeks, like we have done it Let's Do It activity 2. This increase in size occurs because many new cells are created, form the new few existing cells within the body of the plant. And the adult forms, some of the organisms look entirely different from the young forms. For example, we take a tadpole or a caterpillar. A tadpole and a caterpillar totally looks different from a frog and a butterfly. The growth patterns in plants and animals different. Plants continue to grow leaves, branches and fruits together out their life, unlike other animals which generally stop growing in size. Like plants, branches, leaves and fruits grow throughout the whole life of the plant till the plant survives. Unlike animals, because animals generally stop growing in size after some time or not, and they become adults and the growth in this size stops in animals, and their body keeps replacing and repairing its worn out details, cells and tissues and all of that. So hence plants are different from humans and animals, but they are living beings as well. Like you can see children turning into baby and children and baby animals turning into adults. And here you can see some animals grow throughout the stages that look so much different from adults, isn't it? And here also a seedling is growing into a large plant. Throughout time, everything is changed and everything changes as well. As throughout time the baby become into an adult, throughout time the baby animal become an adult animal. Throughout time a seed become a tree and we don't realize. Do non-living things also show growth and development? Well, this curiosity is in everyone's mind. Well, let's figure it out now. Take some copper sulfate in a beaker and dissolve it in water. Then tie a small crystal of copper sulfate with a piece of thread and suspend it in the solution from a thin glass rod as shown in this figure, as you can see, figure 7.8, and keep this setup undisturbed for 24 hours or a day. What do we notice? We notice that lumps of copper sulfate which were in the water or dissolved in the water has stuck to the glass rod. What is it? It is the growth and the development of copper sulfate, isn't it? What is the reason behind that? Let's see now. As we can see through activity let's do it 3 or activity 3, non-living things such as crystals also grow in size and become bigger. They do growth and development. They do have growth and development, but this is due to the gradual addition of minerals from its surrounding, right? As I have told you that the lumps of the copper sulfate from that were dissolved in water has stuck to the glass rod. And also adding more water, like clouds also grow in size by adding more water droplets, but this type of growth is reversible. On the other hand, growth and development in living things like humans, animals, plants take place from the inside and are irreversible and they cannot be changed again. Now next, living things need nutrition. As we all know, living things need food, water and warmth to survive. They also need nutrition as well. As we have learned earlier, organisms need food to get energy, to grow, to survive, to move, repair damaged parts and everything. They need they need nutrition, they need energy. You've also learned that plants make their own food through photosynthesis and thus they are called autotrophs. Any organism that make their food by themselves is known as autotrophs. Algae, plants, each organism which make their food by themselves, by their own, is known as an autotroph. Animal depends on plants and nature and on other animals for their food and hence they are called heterotrophs. Living things move and let's do it for in this activity we will discuss about why living things move and the cause of their movement. Do these things move on their own? So the things that move will be animals like suppose humans, cats, dog, cow, buffalo, etc. Their cause of moving will be their needs, the need for food, the need for shelter and the response to stimuli, everything. Now all of these can be cause of movement And hence, well, the cause of movement could be anything else as well, but mostly it is that in living things, and hence most animals move place to place in search for food, water, shelter, and so on, as I have told you, and even to escape from danger. They have organs such as legs, wings, fins, and tails that help them to move. And however, not all animals have such resources like wings, full fins, tail to move from one place to another. Sponges and corals are the animals which stay in one place, and they do not need to move as they get everything they need at their place, and they just camouflage themselves in the environment very well, and thus they are not moving anywhere from their place. Well, let's revise everything that we have learned. First, we have differentiated living thing and non-living thing, and then we learned about their characteristics, and then we have learned about unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms, then about cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, and an organism. After that, we have learned about and how to grow a plant and how slowly changes happen, and baby becomes an adult and a plant becomes an seedling, and how non-living things also change their shape and occur growth and development, and how the need of living things need nutrition and their need. And after that, why do living things move? For food, water, shelter, and to escape from danger. That's all we have learned for today, and hope you have understood everything. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.